So no surprises in the election result. It's a thumping Labour victory. But in this video, what I'm going to share with you is something that may surprise you. It's the first post-election commercial property opportunity that you won't have heard anywhere else, but you're going to hear about in this video. So stay tuned. So if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon. We put out plenty of videos each and every week, and we're going to keep you up to date with how to profit from property with the new government in situ. So make sure you subscribe for a lot more. So it's the first day of an all-new government. We're going to have all new policies on housing, development, planning and all the rest of it. But guess what? Nothing's going to change, at least for the first 100, 150 days. There are bigger fish to fry for the new government. So the old rules, the rules that were in place yesterday, will still be in place going forward. So the permitted development rules that are in place at the moment allow for the easy conversion of commercial buildings, defunct commercial buildings, to alternative uses, be they alternative commercial uses or residential use, or a mixture of both. Now guess what? This election result can be very good news for you, because up and down the country there are hundreds of Conservative Party constituency offices which are now defunct. So these parliamentary constituency offices are commercial buildings, usage class E, and they can be repurposed basically to residential or mixed use or other commercial uses. So all you have to do is contact the owners of these buildings and find out whether they're interested in selling. Many will be, particularly in safe Tory seats such as this one. This building here was actually the Conservative Parliamentary Constituency Office for the Chesham and Amersham seat. Now the Conservative Party had their offices here for more than 18 years, and they lost this seat in a shock by-election result a year or so ago. They lost that right in the middle of the Matt Hancock scandal, when he was caught breaking his own social distancing rules, which was snap bang in the middle of this by-election, and many believe that's what swung it away from the Conservatives, and the Lib Dems won. Now this particular building is a mixed-use building. It has a long-standing retail unit on the ground floor, plus offices above, which, as I said, was in use by the Conservative Party for many years. Now, when the owner of this building found out that the Tories lost this seat, obviously he was worried. He was in this building, he owned this building for long-term rental cash flow. No one could ever dream that Amersham and Chesham would be anything else but Tory blue. So the result came as a little bit of a shock, and the offices were a little bit old and shabby and dated, and the owner of that building didn't have the appetite for repurposing, because they were in it just simply for long-term cash flow. That was it. And that is typical of many of these building owners. They simply may know about repurposing, or that you can convert these buildings into flats, but it's not their game. They don't know how to, they don't have the skills to, they don't have the inclination to, so they would rather sell them on. So this is your chance in these days after the election. Find out what your local Conservative Party constituency office actually looks like, and if it looks like it has the potential for repurposing either fully to residential or part residential, part commercial, then find out who the owner is. You can do that by going to Land Registry online. I'll leave the link on the screen here, and for a £3 search you can find out who the building owner is. Send a letter to that building owner and just tell them, hey, look, you know, you're interested in buying it. That's basically it. Arrange a coffee, a meetup, and see where you go from there. Now with this building, this was exactly that sort of scenario, when the owner was at a loss of what to do when they found out that the Lib Dems won the seat away from the Conservatives after 18 years in office. When I talk about repurposing buildings, what I always say you should do is to make sure that you don't just go commercial to resi for the sake of it. Look at every inch of space in that building and think, what is the best use of that space? Now, in this particular neighbourhood, this is Amersham, the shop has an existing tenant in there. They've been there for 30 plus years. It's also a street where the retail parade is very, very active. You can see from the retail street scene, every shop is occupied. There's a vibrant market for retail units. So obviously the downstairs is best used as a retail premises. Upstairs was a bit of a TARDIS. You can see from the front of the building it looks like an old building, but it had a massive extension put on the back in the 1980s, and it gave us a generous amount of space which allowed repurposing into 4 flats. We've got some floor plans on the screen of what we're doing here, 4 lovely 1-bedroom flats. Building works is all currently underway. Now, if you are looking at pouncing on one of these opportunities right now, yes, we've got a new government, but remember the old rules still apply. And as I've said time and time again, I know Labour will be looking at housing, they'll be looking at renting reforms, they'll be looking at the planning system, but this all takes a little bit of time. The new government have got to get their feet under the table, figure out what's going on, and then figure out what reforms they want to bring in. So that means that the existing rules still apply. So if you're going for permitted development and conversion of commercial buildings, get those applications in there now. Once those applications are in, there's a 56-day process for being granted your permitted development application. And then after that, you have up to 3 years to complete the works. So once that permission is given, that's it. You've got those 3 years to complete the works. Now, I don't know what's to come, but I do think, particularly for larger conversions, they will introduce some kind of social housing element, which at the moment there isn't. At the moment, if you take, say, an office building and you're making 10, 20, 40, 50 flats out of it, you are pretty much good to go under permitted development. There is no requirement to keep a proportion of those flats for social housing. Now, that will dramatically affect viability of many schemes. We just need to see if Labour decide to enforce any mandatory social housing provision on PD, but at the moment there's nothing. It'll take time for that to come in, so you're good to go with applications, so get them in now. That's it for this video, and as I said, subscribe and follow this channel because we'll keep you up to date with strategies which will work under the environment that we're in now under the new Labour government. The Baker Street Property Meet is the UK's largest and #1 property investors networking event. The property market is going through monumental change right now, and at Baker Street Property Meet we aim to keep you up to date with the latest tips and tricks and insider tactics to help you keep on top of your property investing game and succeed in these troubled economic times. The Baker Street Property Meet is fundamentally about networking because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And at Baker Street, we aim to connect you with the people to make your property journey a monumental success. There's no better place to be to further your property investment journey than the Baker Street Property Meet. So make sure you're here, you're connecting with myself and Andrew Roberts, our expert guest speakers and 300 passionate property people each and every month. See you at the next meet. Get your spot at bakerstreetpropertymeet.com.